Pokemon Legends EA is a long ways away, but little cracks here and there reveal to us details about the game we otherwise wouldn't know anything about without more trailers. We've talked extensively on this channel about development updates with GameFreak, various gameplay elements, the proof of concepts from the teaser trailer confirmed for us, as well as new and returning mechanics we could be seeing shine in a new release. If you've kept up, you'll be happy to know that several beloved mechanics we've talked about in depth are now confirmed to be making a return in Pokemon Legends EA, as well as exactly how they will function. One of them is one we weren't 100% certain would be returning, but we now know with 100% certainty it is. And the other is one we knew would be returning, but overhauls and additional forms of it were likely to be introduced, evolving it further than Legends Arceus created a baseline for. These returning mechanics are confirmed because of some recent patents Nintendo released for GameFreak moving forward. Now, the jargon used in these patents is fairly confusing for the average reader or consumer who has no knowledge of game design or the robotic, codey language that comes with such a thing. So I'll do us all a favor and essentially summarize what was said in the patents. Let's start with the mechanic that we weren't sure about but figured would be returning. We now solidly know that the player character taking damage is back for Pokemon Legends EA. The patent page mentions damage taken from falling too far, as well as drowning. So, drowning is also back too, I guess. We'll just check that off. Regardless, the player character taking damage, being a returning mechanic, is a pretty big revelation. And while the patent page seems to only discuss movement-based patents, we can deduce with 98% certainty that this also means Pokemon will be attacking us again. It'll be so interesting to see this as a gameplay mechanic within a cityscape, but that's part of what will make that concept feel fresh this time around, even with it being a returning mechanic. I'm particularly interested in how aggressive Pokemon will fit into the setting of the city. Like, are all the townsfolk just letting mean Pokemon roam around and attack residents regularly? I know that more humans will be trainers this time around, as shown in the teaser's proof of concepts, so perhaps it's just okay because we all have the means to defend ourselves, rather than just the main character and a handful of others like in Legends Arceus. But back on the topic of drowning, because I'm a bit disappointed to be seeing this, I'll admit. If you've kept up with our recent videos on the channel, you know I'm a big fan of the idea of swimming with our Pokemon. You could do it a little bit in Legends Arceus, but it just wasn't long enough for my liking. We drown a bit too soon. I'm still holding out hope that we can swim for longer in Legends EA though, maybe give us a stamina meter of sorts, so that I can just swim with my Pokemon. Or perhaps dive with them in even deeper water somehow. Now on the topic of fall damage though, I actually imagine this form of taking damage will be far more essential to Pokemon Legends EA than it was in Legends Arceus. That's because with the entire game taking place in a dense cityscape, the environment in general will be far more vertical. Buildings and other structures will tower upward, creating a much richer layer to exploration than possible with flat, horizontally structured landscapes. Fall damage will be a much more serious and common threat in Lumiose, so be sure to watch your step as you traverse the game. Now, the movement-based patent page revealed more than just player damage being a returning mechanic in ZA. There's another important mechanic we'll be seeing make a glorious comeback, and that is Ride Pokemon. But not just Ride Pokemon as a concept, seamless transitions for the rides and delegating the tasks to different Pokemon yet again, unlike in Scarlet and Violet. The patent, in its own convoluted way, essentially confirms that GameFreak is aiming to keep a seamless and satisfying method of traversing every type of terrain we come across. Before we discuss what kinds of traversal methods are mentioned, let's first tackle the topic of seamlessness. Just like with Pokemon Legends Arceus, ZA will implement a system where if we have a ride Pokemon for several different terrain types, simply touching a different terrain will automatically switch to the Pokemon required for traversing it. Think like how we could simply run on Weirdeer into the water, and Weirdeer automatically got switched out for Basculegion, and vice versa. Conversely, GameFreak is maintaining the ability to enter a button command to switch the Pokemon on the fly, such as how we could fly up to a cliffside and simply press the A button to enter Sneasler's backpack and begin scaling cliffs. Or how we could jump high enough, such as double jumping on Basculegion or a single jump on Weirdeer, we could summon Braviary to take us to the sky from right there. The patent even goes so far as to solidify the ability to save yourself from falling as many times as you need to by entering a button command to summon the airborne Pokemon and catch your fall. Alright, with that last one I did kinda give away a bit of the next segment, but yes, the 4 main traversal types from Legends Arceus are all returning in Pokemon Legends EA. The patent explicitly mentions, quote, boarding target objects for ground, air, water, and cliffside. It even goes so far as to mention double jumping from the water ride, as that was pivotal in ensuring we could catch certain Pokemon in the water undetected, which would have otherwise been impossible as there is no method of sneaking when waterborne. Interestingly enough, the patent only mentions cliffside surfaces and not buildings for scaling vertically. Likely meaning we'll need an entirely different method of scaling buildings if there is one at all. Matter of fact, there is zero mention of new traversal methods entirely, which would mean one of 2 things. One is that the patent page is simply GameFreak solidifying and ensuring access to the traversal functions from Legends Arceus as a baseline for Legends EA, and patents for additional traversal methods will simply come later, or are being worked on currently, or they're withholding those patents publicly because they know we can see it all online and they don't want to spoil any surprises for the game before the next trailer. Or, the second thing this could mean is they simply will not be making any additional traversal options for Legends EA, in which case that would be a damn shame, but honestly, I do find that very unlikely. No, it's definitely much more likely Game Freak is just attempting to not let too much slip ahead of the game's next trailer, which will likely come no sooner than 2025 when the Switch 2 is revealed. Securing these patents now is a safe way to not spoil too much for us as fans, aside from silently confirming the return of some beloved mechanics from Pokemon Legends Arceus. And honestly, not too many people probably paid attention enough to see these patents and know that these mechanics are returning. But what are your thoughts on these elements coming back? Are you excited? Do you want to see more from them? Comment what you're thinking below and we'll all talk about it together. Afterwards, check out more of my videos like this one here, where we discuss entirely new mechanics we're likely to see in ZA. I've been JotoJohnny, and I'll catch you all there.